Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce presents the Bowie Business Journal, a program designed to keep our community informed about important business and economic issues.
Hello, my name is Kelly Pierce. I'm the Executive Director for the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to welcome you to this edition of the Bowie Business Journal. I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, CJ Masterson, who's chair of our Membership Development Committee and on the Board of Directors for the Chamber of Commerce, and he'll introduce you to our guest today.
Well, welcome. And our guest today is Nicola Walker from Regus. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Also, welcome to the community of Bowie.
Yeah.
I understand you guys are new to the community.
We are. We're brand new. We're excited to be here. Regus hopefully will continue to bring business to Bowie and the surrounding areas.
What are some of the benefits of a Regus coming into a business park?
Regus really allows a lot of companies to save a lot of money, as opposed to getting a conventional space. With conventional space, if you get your own office space, you have to pay for building insurance, maintenance, utilities. A lot of times you have to pay for furnishings or even a receptionist to help to support your business. And with Regus, they will take care of everything. It's really kind of like a hotel for businesses, and it gives you the advantage of really having a big corporate feel without paying for a lot of the added amenities that the typical conventional business office would have to cover.
So it focuses on mid to small size companies?
Well, Regus actually will help any company. The startup company who really they don't even have a name yet, they want to establish themselves in a particular location, a company who they may be a mid-sized company, they may have the need to expand, or they might have a need to just have another presence in an area, or a company kind of like Google or Procter & Gamble. Regus partners with those companies as well. So whether you're a well-established Fortune 100 company or a startup company, Regus has a product that's going to be able to help you.
Wow, that's interesting. So how any idea how they attract the larger companies? Because I would tend to bring in the smaller businesses to have the affiliation and the ability to network.
Well, the larger companies typically have a need for project space, or they might need to hire a large percentage of employees. So instead of going out and building a conventional space to hire 100 HR people, or maybe they need a call center for a brand new initiative that they want to get done, instead of going out and actually building a whole center, they would use Regus. For example, in Moscow, a Regus opened in Moscow at 100% occupancy because the company, I believe it was Google, they wanted the entire business center for a project for the year. So a company like Procter & Gamble and Google, they really do see the use for a company like Regus. Also, the internet service, because it's so high tech and so reliable, a lot of companies just love to come in and use Regus just for that, the IT and the telephone services for projects or for short-term use. And then there might be a large company who plans on expanding, and they maybe do want to have conventional space, but the space that they want isn't ready yet. Or a lot of times with conventional space, there's always something, a permit doesn't get signed in the right time, or something goes wrong with the build out. And so Regus would be perfect for them to come in for that 6-month time frame to just have somewhere to work and to continue to be productive, instead of waiting for their space to get done and they don't have anywhere to go.
So how much space do you have in the Bowie location, and is that typical? Does Regus have a footprint they do everywhere, or does it vary?
Well, the space I have, I'm the general manager for the Bowie location in Melford Plaza, and we have 12,000 square feet there, and there are actually 71 different business suites. And so the Regus really tries to get into a location that's going to be quite popular, first of all. They are looking for hubs. The area that I'm located is right there between 50, 301, and 3, and that's perfect for people who are coming from DC, Annapolis, trying to get to Virginia, on their way from Virginia. So when Regus finds a location, they really want to make sure that they're getting a location that's going to be easily accessible. There's the metro nearby as well. And so Regus really tries to create, as you said, a footprint in areas that are going to be up and coming. And Bowie is extremely, it's going to be very popular up and coming, especially with the retail space that they're planning on building in the Melford area, the hotels that are coming up there. So we're looking forward to all of that.
So is it, in finding the space, you take a property like Melford, do you look at those future plans as a design for a particular location?
Yes, on the corporate level, clearly I'm not. But Regus is the largest provider of flexible workspace solutions in the world. With over 1,800 locations, the company is actually based in Europe. So I am just a small fry on the level, but I'm sure at the corporate level, when they're doing the research, they take a look at how the area is going to develop and grow. For instance, the National Harbor location, they strategically placed National Harbor. They probably knew there was going to be a possibility of a casino coming and growth in the area. So they really take a look at places like Silver Spring Metro, opened up about a year or 2 years ago. Towson, Regus also acquires places like Towson in Annapolis, Columbia Town Center actually opened up Monday. Wow. So Regus continues to grow. Rockville will open up in June. So they strategically place Regus locations in hub areas where there's going to be a lot of growth. And so that's why I was so excited to be a part of the Bowie project, because that really means that if the company wants to invest millions of dollars in an area building out a business center, that means that Bowie is really an up-and-coming area to do business and to grow.
And it is. We thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah, exciting to be here.
And is there any, I'm sure on a corporate level there is a lot of philanthropy. I can't say that word.
Philanthropy.
Thank you so much, Kelly. That they do. Is there any plans to invest into the community?
Yes, Regus does a lot of partnership in the community. They work with, for one of the places I remember really working with last year was the Charity Carousel. It's a nonprofit organization that actually is building a carousel to help. They really want to build a carousel in a community that really doesn't have the opportunity. The kids don't have an opportunity to play at a park, and it's a lot of need in the community. And so Regus would sponsor a lot of nonprofit organizations, and they do a lot in the community, giving back, Red Cross. They really try to do a lot of sponsorship, and it's really through the general manager. So as a general manager, it's my job to do a lot of outreach. So if there are ways for me to donate to scholarships or to make sure community service projects are funded, then as the general manager, I take a look at my budget and to really take a look and see where can I give back to the community. But Regus really does a nice job of making sure that as a part of our position as general manager, we give back to the community by really sponsoring and taking part in a lot of community outreach service projects.
That's great. I think we have a few opportunities where we would appreciate your donation.
Yeah.
I know the Chamber really focuses on women in business and the youth. And there's growing opportunities. We have some coming up. We look forward to sharing that with Regus in the spotlight.
Of the space that you have, the 12,000 square feet, I know you opened in December.
Yes, December 23rd.
How full are you already? Is that moving along well?
It's moving along very well. We started off, of course, in December with 1% occupancy, going up to 7% in January, 9% in February, but now we're up to 30%.
Excellent.
So we're
great.
excited about that. And it's really my Monique Lewis. She is our senior customer service representative. She does a lot of work with making sure our clients are happy. I mean, I try as well, but she's really at the forefront of that. But she also does a lot of Craigslist ads, and she does a lot of different types of advertisement with LinkedIn and tweeting, and really trying to get involved with social media. I do a lot with Facebook. And so when you're getting out there via the internet, and I'm out there, as a foot soldier going around and networking, we really do attract the clients that way as well. And on the corporate level, Regus does do some marketing in the movie theaters. They'll have different commercials on different stations. I don't know if it's the Bloomberg network or Bloomberg. But there are a lot of different ways that Regus markets to attract people. But now, with 30% occupancy, we're looking to hopefully be at 50% at the 6-month mark. So,
great, wonderful. And then we were talking about partnerships. I mean, they have already come in. I just know this from being up there and being at your open house. They've already joined the 3 local chambers and created partnership agreements where we are referring businesses to you who are looking for space, who need something, and with the Crofton Chamber, the Bowie Chamber, and with the Prince George's County Chamber, and also a connection with the Bowie Business Innovation Center at Bowie State University, because there are certainly incubator businesses that may be more appropriate in your space, and there may be people who come to you who aren't quite ready for that, who are more appropriate in that space. So I know you've talked with Lisa Smith some about those kind of partnerships and working together. And then, hopefully a number of your businesses are joining the chambers who are here locally, whichever community that they're in.
Yes, in fact, I talk to all of my businesses about the benefit of joining a chamber. And it just depends on what their needs are for their business and what they're looking for. But I do have in my welcome suite all 3 certificates for all 3 chambers, because I do believe that it's extremely beneficial to be a part of a network, a group that supports you. And the Greater Bowie Chamber does a lot to support the businesses in the area. I mean, all the chambers do. And I think the different programs that the chamber offers, it's just extremely beneficial, whether you're a growing company, if you're a medium size and you want to continue to grow, or if you're even a large company and just want to reach out to the local and just have a local presence there. I think it's good to have any kind of connection with the different chambers.
Yeah.
Regus also partners with commercial brokers. I don't know if a lot of people know about Regus and our partnerships with commercial brokers and even residential brokers, but Regus actually reaches out to them and refers back and forth to commercial and residential brokers also. And it's just another way to support the broker businesses. And I mean, residential brokers, I know for the past couple of years they've been having a difficult time moving property. And a lot of them don't know that they could add Regus to their portfolio. You can add Regus and you can actually benefit from promoting a Regus space if you are a commercial or
attracting
residential
someone
brokers.
to the area. Great, great.
Yeah.
So how did you come to be with them? Because you've been there with them now just over a year?
Since July.
Yeah.
Since July. I was an elementary educator for the last 9 years in Howard County, and I enjoyed it. I needed to take a little bit of a break, though, from the classroom. And so I took a leave of absence and decided to go back into what I love, which is helping adults. I used to, prior to being an educator, was a pharmaceutical representative with 2 major companies. And I loved working with adults and educating adults. And so I see Regus in the same light. I see Regus as the opportunity to educate people, to really help people to understand, hey, you don't have to spend your entire budget to get started with your own business. You can use a business address. You can have someone answer your phone professionally. You can do all of those things at a very small budget. You can come into a business lounge and meet people and not have to go to Starbucks or Panera, even though I like Starbucks and Panera. But there are other options out there for business owners that you won't have to break the bank.
Well, and it helps a business grow. If you're just coming maybe out of your house in a home-based business and you want to start with some office space but not make that big commitment.
Right.
And similar to the incubator space, you know, and then eventually move to another, you know, talk with, you were talking about commercial real estate.
Right, commercial. And then you can have virtual offices as well, so you don't necessarily have to have a physical space, and a lot of people don't know about that either. So there are probably about 100 or so different products, I mean, that Regus can customize. There are three main things that Regus has for the person who wants to be on the go, who doesn't necessarily want an office. Regus can provide them with some assistance. If you want to stay at home, you can do that also. And if you want a physical space, Regus has something for you. So it's really flexible in what they provide.
And that is, and I don't remember, I know we talked about in the plans when people do come into Regus space, you're then, is it all of the plans or certain plans? You're eligible to go to any Regus location. So if you do travel around this Metro DC area, you have access to a number of spaces. You're not confined to just holding all your meetings and all your functions in Bowie. You can do National Harbor or somewhere in Northern Virginia.
Yes, that's absolutely right. If you have the need to just stay around in DC, Maryland, Virginia, Regus has a product specifically for that, where you can have meetings at a discounted rate. You can have virtual conferences from state to state at a discounted rate, or you can access all of the business lounges and cafes. If you have a need to have a presence in an area, for example, I have one client who he owns a truck driving business. He hires a lot of truck drivers. He has a virtual office. He's not there 24/7 in the Bowie location. And then he told me, well, you know, I have people in New Jersey and I need them to pick their checks up. I said, well, you can just have a virtual office in New Jersey where they'll be able to have your drivers go up there and pick up their checks, but you don't physically have to be there. So he was excited to know that he said, wow, I actually have access to all of the different locations. I said, yeah, you have global access. So as a virtual office client, you have global access to all of the locations.
That's great.
And as an office client, you have global access as well. And what does that mean? That means that just in Maryland, DC, Virginia, you have access to over 40 different business centers. In Maryland, we have 16 locations now and more to come. DC 9, 10, and Northern Virginia about 14, 15, and continuing to grow. But basically where there is a hub, there's a Regus.
That's
Great.
interesting.
Great.
What are those, I mean, you talked about several different products. Can you put a name with them? So maybe.
Sure.
So there's the business lounge. You talked about that.
Right.
What is that specifically?
Business Lounge is connected to what's called our Business World card. Business World gives you access to the business lounges, but you also have access to private office space or shared office space, and all at a discounted rate. So the Business World card, it has different levels to it. There's a blue card, and the blue card is free. That's available to everyone, and that's going to be kind of like a membership card, like a Costco or BJ's card, and it gives you the opportunity to get a discount on the different products, like the meeting room, boardroom space, video conferencing space. And then you can go up to a gold card. The gold card is now going to give you access to the business lounges and cafes, in addition to continuing to get discounts on the meeting room spaces and offices if you need them for the day or for the hour. And then you can move up to a platinum card, and the platinum card is going to give you all of the previous options with the discounts and business lounge. But then you have access to shared space. And shared space would basically look like a cubicle setting, you know, where you come in and you can work in a cubicle type area. But it looks much more modern and sophisticated than the typical gray cubicle. It's much more clean lines, European look and feel.
Well, you have lots of windows at the location
Lots
where
of
you are
windows,
now
yes,
too, which
yes.
is that's a beautiful building.
Yes, yes. And then there's Platinum Plus, and that can give you days of private office time, 5, 10, or unlimited days per month. So the Business World card is kind of like, I would say, for someone who doesn't want to make a commitment. You know, you don't necessarily want to be locked in and locked down into a relationship, you know, with an office space per se. But you do want access to the business lounges. You might want to have private office time whenever you feel like it. And you could use it nationally, globally, or locally. And so that's Business World for the person who just wants to run around. And then you have the virtual offices. Virtual offices are going to give you the look and feel of being in one specific location. So, for example, Kelly might want an office in Bowie, but she doesn't want to be in the office every single day. Maybe she just wants to come in a couple times a month or 5 times a month. And so a virtual office would be good for Kelly. She could still use the address in all of her marketing materials, her website, her business cards. She can have someone professionally answer the phone in her company name and forward it to her at any location. So if she's at home, if she's in California, we could forward all of her calls. If she misses a call, then she would have the opportunity to actually get her voicemail on her email. And so she would get an email that she missed the call. She just presses play, and voila, she hears the voicemail. So the virtual office is really good for someone who doesn't want to be in the office all the time, but they do want to have the opportunity to say, I have an office somewhere. She can have meetings there when she feels like it at a discounted rate. She can come in, use the office for an hour, for a day, but it's not her dedicated space. And then the last product is for people who want to have an office. You have 24/7 access to your office. You can come in on the weekend. You have keys to it. You can definitely use the meeting room space there, video conferencing studio as well. But it's just different in that you have a dedicated space for yourself and your company. I have people right now who are looking to continue to grow and expand. They moved in on one day, and then the next day they said, oh, we want a bigger space. Okay, no problem.
Not a problem.
Not a problem.
It's a
One
good
more.
problem to have.
Wow. Kelly, what's the name of your new company? Sounds like you sold it already. I'll be your first customer,
Got a
whatever it
plan.
is.
I've got a plan.
Started with a business plan. That's great. Well, it sounds like you have a lot to offer to the community. Like, welcome to Bowie and the Chamber. We look forward to interacting even more with some of our activities that we have going. Speaking of activities, we always have upcoming events.
We have a few coming up. We have a business workshop on marketing and promoting your business on Friday, May 16th. It's a lunch meeting at Texas Roadhouse. We have a new and prospective new member orientation breakfast that we do quarterly, and the one for May is set for Wednesday, May 28th from 8 to 9 in the morning in the Chamber office, and that's free. We just ask that you go online or call the office to register for that so that we know how many people to have breakfast for. And then the Bowie Fest Expo that the Chamber sponsors as part of the larger Bowie Fest event on Saturday, June 7th is the business expo portion is held in the Bowie Ice Arena. It's dry floor during the summer. We have an exhibit company that comes in and sets up the pole, the draping, the tables and chairs and everything. And there are still spaces available for that. If you're interested, please call the Chamber office.
It's wonderful. Does Regus have a booth?
Oh, we should get one then.
That
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like
We
there's a
definitely
first
would love
We won't
to.
talk about that.
No pressure.
Just make a couple calls and we can try to make it happen. Yeah.
It's great. Well, once again, thank you for being here. Kelly, thank
Yeah.
you always.
Thank you.
And
Welcome
thank
to
you guys
Bowie.
for listening and watching the Bowie Business Journal. See you next time.